All right, welcome back to another strumming lesson. In this lesson, we're going to look at what I'm going to call the 50s strum. Now you hear this kind of strumming in a lot of classic rock and roll kind of 50s music. Even if you don't necessarily listen to that kind of music or play it a whole lot, there's still some really good technical things that you're going to want to learn with your strumming hand. Again, like most of our strumming lessons, we're focusing more on our strumming hand, less on our fretting hand. We can take a look at other lessons where we're looking at chord progressions, where we're doing a lot with both our left hand and our right hand. But for these strumming lessons, we're really going to just focus on our strumming hand. So I am going to give you a chord progression that you can use with this, just because it's a lot of fun to be able to play this pattern using particular chords. But if you're not quite there, comfortable playing too many different chords right now, you can just play one chord, or you can just mute the strings and play it that way as well. And so again, we're just going to focus really on our strumming hand, and I will give you some chords that you can use with it. But if not, you can just play it, just muting the strings. So let's take a closer look at the 50s strum. So we're just going to stay on the G chord for now. So what I'm doing with my strumming hand is we're going to start by playing the bass note. So on the G chord, our bass note is going to be the 3rd fret on the 6th string. So right here, that's going to be our bass note. So we're going to actually start this strumming pattern by hitting the bass note. And then we're going to do something called a rake. So you don't want to confuse this with a strum. Right after we hit that bass note, we're gonna use our pick to just kind of glide along the strings. So that's called a rake. All right, so right after beat number 1, on beat 1, we're hitting the bass note, and then right after that, we're going to play all of the strings that we're playing in the chord except for the 1st string. So we're going to go all the way down, we'll end on the 2nd string. And now we're going to do some upstrokes. We're going to pluck the 1st string, 2nd string, and 3rd string. Our chord hasn't changed, we're leaving that the same, but we're just playing, now plucking individual strings. So bass note, and then go across the strings. We'll stop at the 2nd string, and then we'll do 3 upstrokes on the 1st string, 2nd string, and 3rd string. So I'm going to play that. And if you're ready to join, you can try it here. 3, 4. Bass note, bass note. Okay, let's try a little bit slower now. 3, 4. Remember, the pick just sort of glides over the strings when we're going across. Right here, just glide. And then 3 upstrokes. 1st string, 2nd string, 3rd string. All right, so that's the 50s strum. Now, if we want to add some chords to that, what I was playing at the beginning of this video, I was using 4 different chords. I was playing the G chord, E minor chord, C chord, and then D chord. Now, when we do start changing chords, you're really going to need to be mindful of where the bass note is on each chord. So typically, when we're looking for the bass note of the chord, you're going to take a look at the chord diagram, and you'll see that there are some strings that we're allowed to play and some strings that we're not allowed to play. So sometimes you'll see an X or a circle. Don't play the strings that have an X beside it if you're looking at the chord diagram. So the lowest or bassiest note that you can play on that chord. So for the G, again, the bass note is 3rd fret, 6th string. The E minor, the lowest or bassiest note that we can play is the open 6th string. And then the C, the bass note, is going to be the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So right here. So we're not going to play that 6th string at all when we're playing the C chord. And then the D chord, the bass note that we're going to play with the D chord is an open D string or open 4th string. So again, that's 3rd fret on the 6th string for the G chord, open string, open 6th string for the E minor, and then C, 3rd fret of the 5th string, and then D, open 4th string. Now again, if you're not too comfortable with these chord shapes yet, just play one chord and you'll still really get the feel, and you'll be able to start practicing with your strumming hand, or just mute the strings. It will sound like that. So let's play with these chords now. All right, there you have it, the 50s strum. It's a lot of fun. Again, if you don't play that kind of music or listen to it a whole lot, there's still some really important things that you're going to need to know and want to know with your strumming hand to, when you're starting to play other songs, you may not necessarily play songs exactly like that, but you might use that rake technique somewhere else, or you might use that bass note technique somewhere else, or the 3-up strokes, just hitting the strings going up. So there's a lot of really good stuff there. Have fun with it. Try it with different chords if you want. Try it with just one chord if you'd like. But either way, there's some stuff there that you can work on, and I'll see you again for another lesson.